Now, Marcus Sastamoyne, he didn't do any double dirty dips. He's up in Darwin. Hello, Marcus. Don't get eaten by a croc. There you go. Or anything else. And there you go. Watch out for your Darwin stubbies. They can be lethal. Anyway, he's asked me about the wonderful Larry Mullen Jr. of U2. Okay. And he is rated in the top 100 of somebody's top 100 list, some magazine, when I was doing my little bit of research. And funnily enough, for one of the top 100 drummers in rock, CBS Records wanted to fire him when U2 got their first contract, and the boys said no because they were family. Not family like cousins or anything, but they grew up, from school and all this sort of stuff. So thick. They stuck together, thick and thin. And Marcus has asked me about the influence of Celtic music in his style. Well, they're Irish, so you can't get away from it. He said, what happens? And then same thing with me growing up. It's a very strong influence in the sense that, I'll give you for instance really, because U2 came up in the days of punk and new wave. Now when you think about punk, I suppose the go-to kind of band in the late 70s and stuff was the Sex Pistols. Now, I really liked the Sex Pistols at the time. I thought, people know me as a progger, but they were a breath of fresh air, and I just loved, anarchy. But they were spitting on everything, and probably rightly so. It was a pretty, dark time in the good old Blighty in England and all that. However, your Irish punks were completely different. They did not spit on their heritage. They were fighting for their lives, okay? And I am referencing the Troubles in Ireland throughout the 60s and 70s and all that sort of business. So the Irish punks, like the young Dubliners, not the living treasures, the Dubliners, the young Dubliners and Flogging Molly and people like that, that very, strong tradition of their Celtic music. So you couldn't get away from it. It's a different kind of thinking, okay? They honoured their people, okay, and all that sort of stuff. Now, Larry Mullen Jr., because of all that, he started in a little marching band as well and all that. So we've got... And how's that? He's using traditional grip when you're seeing him do clips and things like that. And he does mix between the two, but when he's doing his marching stuff, when he gets out on stage, there you go. You've got your traditional grip again. So on. So what goes on there is the fact that with the military style playing, if you're going... There you go. And what happens is you have to be even-handed with that. And now Stephen Tocci, this is the last one. How are you, mate? There was a bit of a late request. Any last requests I asked, and he delivered. Stephen, weaker hand tips. Just lead with your left hand, like Steve Smith talks about, and a little bit of what I was talking about last week with the Ginger Baker special. For me, it was sort of like a left foot lead, that kind of thing. So, completely off the subject of Larry Mullen Jr., but for instance, when I was playing all the Zappa stuff, and you did the Zappa style Vinnie Colaiuta kind of reggae, my little go-to secret tip or secret weapon was the left-hand start double paradiddle. And there's that sort of thing there, but that's getting off the track of Larry Mullen Jr. There you go. So, and there you have that. So there's that kind of thing. Now, one of the things about marching And because of all my time with the City of Essendon Brass Band and all that and doing the Anzac Day marches, the timing is fairly deadly on 120, okay? 120 beats per minute. And I did a show on this not long ago for Channel 31 in the sense that 120 beats per minute is simply half a second. So it's twice 60. So if you want a setting, you know, if you want a metronome when you haven't got a metronome, look, if you've got a, look at your phone and look at the second hand, and that's beating, you know, 1, 2, I'm doing that because I'm looking at my clock, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I'm looking over the top of that camera there, hello. And what happens is there, so, oh, that was drilled in. Sometimes we'd have to slow up a little bit if the servicemen were getting on a little bit old. They couldn't, you know, just whatever. And there's a bit of a rigmarole in things like Anzac Days and stuff. So, you know, that's for another time though. But Larry Mullen Jr. came up with that. So that's his, or that's how he grew up.